So the whole thing, oh man, you know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, everything's like my SKIN is my SIN. That was cute or whatnot. Higher learning or something. But you know what? To be honest with you, the fluidity of the polarizations of like applicatories is like the whole thing of it is the fluidity of it in itself. Now the whole thing is that's when I put a spin on it, and I'd be like Intel, because I'm putting on naked eye on it now, and that's different from a subject. So subject to interpretation. So from a lower division point of view, you know what I'm saying, without the semantics of upper division semantics of what the theory could be called, is I don't know. But see, beyond 60 units is then I start going on a tangent, and that's when I know it gets a little it's cloudy. So let's go like to algebra I put in a blog. I said, okay, you can only drive one car at a time. So we're talking about back and activating the shingles and everything is the mole or whatnot. And they talk about this on Thursdays, because it's to be honest with you, from the outside looking in, even from a third person point of view, I would say in the introduction itself, I would say that with all due psychology is the premise of that. And that's what I'm saying. So they say, oh, well, such and such, I said inches. They said, oh, great, and that's just an example. So after that, you just don't worry about it, because you're like still thinking, I'm great, you know what I'm saying, on Jupiter. And I just say that like that, because that part doesn't change about me. I've said these in these kind of lexicons before.
That's what happens.
And they talk about
what happens in a normal administration.
Well, for example, you take a session of CNN, and I have still a outside scope looking in, because I'm still within the psychological barriers of unfolding. So even with these questionings of kind of interfacing, you must say, is Intel or is it not? And what is discovery and what is it not, in a formula of discovery. Basically what I just said.
It's not clear.
As in the interface. Anderson Cooper host. So, Beyonce, he said arbitrarily he had freckles on his face. That's the last thing I remember. And then I said, no, shut down. So with the last scope on archiving, and what I said earlier in the day is Intel alone on not the naked eye, but the presentation of what it is I'm talking about. Didn't get to finish, but I was saying that, and that's what I told her what it was, and I think about it, and I said that too. So, clear as mud. So let's go. I take a personal spin on it, because I'm like, well, it's a new day, and there's fresh food and water, right? You know what I'm saying? Like something like that, right? Because you say it without a smirk, because you know what I was about to say. But what I'm saying is the psychological barriers beyond that, and so the upper division of it is the higher learning. So if I was to go in the idiopathic direction and say, freckles the last thing I seen, you know what I'm saying, on such and such, and then activate further on such freckles and all ACB. So that's why I said social conservatism. I said social conservatism and social media have nothing to do with its personal sense and isolated if there's so-called instigated as a taunt in general to that correlation right there. So, you know what I'm saying? Well, why is that? How is that right there? On the face, on the face, add up to that. So I'm really like, okay, well, then that's the case. I can put it down, such and such, and everything. You can flip through the Rolodex. No, I don't make stuff up, because this is all in itself in the internet. When I said it was always blue.
mean, that's just
So what is up, Blue? What are you talking about now? Every day, this has been about, what, a month straight, 30 days at least, interfacing with Anderson Cooper. Okay? At least 45 days even. So even with a weekly cycle, or beyond month cycle. So, and I check Trump with these interfacing, because then again, you're not paying some disabled person to get on TV and talk about these things. And invite, which I've said in the blog as well. So, I was saying, the bottom line, you said, I'm wrong, or something like that. On Animation Humans, I'm wrong. And such I'm a pathological liar. I have an addictive personality. Well, then you might as well chalk it up, but you don't have to surround the weirdness of gray Area 51 gray around me like so in such a bizarre and strange way that you keep it, you isolate it as I'm so much different than everybody else in that situation. When it's just nothing like that. And then you start another sentence, we'll say, we're given this, and given this. And say, how is this so hard to be like such and such? So I was thinking, like, taking care of my dog, I want to take care of my dog, and stuff like that. And I love all my, what do you call it? And Anderson Cooper looks livid about the whole thing, for all doings, and, with all interpretation of will. And I'm like, my whole thing is like, I have chest pains too, and interface and throughout the day. So I have to take naps and stuff like that.